cloud hosting is expensive. If you guys have been using Vercel in production, Fly.io in production, you'll realize that there's so many additional costs that they chuck onto it. If you want to set up logging because you need to figure out some user error in production, good luck, because Vercel's going to make it as expensive for you as possible. And that's where a lot of people have started to look at self-hosting. Just this morning, I was reading an article that a engineer saved his company $20 million just by switching to self-hosting, and a lot of companies are doing this. And if you're switching to self-hosting yourself, you're going to have to set up a VPS and a bunch of architecture in order to get that hosting service running for your apps. That's where it can start to get a little bit complicated. You start looking at reverse proxies and all of this different stuff you have to set up, like traffic, Nginx, and you can get really easily overwhelmed. That's where something like Coolify comes in. So Coolify is a tool I've been playing around with a lot, and it is a really awesome developer experience for getting things self-hosted very, very easily. And today I'm going to show you how to do that using Hetzner. So for those of you who don't know, Hetzner is probably my favorite VPS at the moment, because I mean, I've come from DigitalOcean, which is still quite cheap, but you get so much bang for your buck. So what you want to do is fire up your browser and head to Hetzner, create an account, and we're going to get started. I've already created some projects here. Um, I've got Coolify and Sidekick, which is another video I've got in the works. We're going to create our Coolify server here. We're going to select Nuremberg, Ubuntu, and we're going to select Ampere as our host here. Sorry, as our architecture, which is just an ARM64, and we're going to select this CAX 11. CAX 11 is the cheapest Hetzner you can get. It's the cheapest Hetzner VPS you can get, and the reason I love this instance is you get so much out of the box for such a low price. So 3.62 euro is not very much where I'm from. In Australia, that works out to be about $8. Um, which in comparison, coming from DigitalOcean, was about five bucks a month, or $7 a month once you work out the US changeover. So, but you get so much more with a Hetzner. Like, you get 4 gigs of RAM. I think you only get 2 for DigitalOcean, and you get a pretty large SSD and traffic for free. So in Fly.io, one of the things I don't like is that you have to pay more if you're getting additional traffic or additional usage on your disks. There's none of that in this, and that's where VPSs are quite strong if you're wanting to save money in terms of your hosting. So yeah, I'll leave you guys to check out those other instances as well, which also have really good value, and we'll get this thing fired up. So first thing that you're going to want to do is, once you see this screen, you'll see that there's a lot of different options. Easy to get overwhelmed here. We're just opting for simplicity in terms of getting us set up with self-hosting very quickly. So we're going to just be copying the IP4 address. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go type in SSH root and then type in the symbol and then that IP address that we had there. And the reason that we're doing this is to basically SSH directly into the server. If you are using Windows, you won't have this out of the box, but you'll have to do some installations to get that working. But for Mac users, we have that. And we're going to be asked if we want to save our fingerprint. We're going to say yes. And this is where this password stuff comes in. Now, I need to reset this password here because the password that I was given was generated too quickly. But if you need to reset the password, that's where you go to that rescue tab. You can see I'm just struggling here a little bit. So here's what we do. We reset this password again. copy this one. And boom, we're in. So now we can start looking at the setup process. So to get started with the setup process for Coolify, you want to go to Coolify's website, which is coolify.com, and you'll have access to all of this documentation. We're wanting to go to installation self-hosted, and you'll see immediately that we've got this command here, which is just one command to go through and do that installation. Once we've run that command with curl, it'll start basically running the commands needed in order to get the self-hosting set up. So yeah, it'll be going through and doing all of that, building the Docker image, but once it's done, we can then go and visit this public IP address, which is the port where we've got it hosted. And we'll see we've got this create account. We'll have to create an account. I'm just going to put in all of my defaults here. And register. And we can get started. It'll ask us a bunch of questions. We'll just go through all of this. Local. Create a new project. Let's do it. And you'll see that we've got this dashboard set up here. It's pretty cool. Bunch of stuff which will feel familiar and some stuff which may not feel familiar. Let's just go and take a look at changing this. Oh god, no. We'll go back to dark. Yes, better. And disable that. Let's take a look at the servers that we've got available to us. So we opted for local host, which means that we're running the instance directly on the same instance where we've got Coolify running on the same server, but you can potentially add in your other servers if you want to have, for instance, separation between services that you're running and databases that you're running, or vice versa, or either or. You can set up additional VPSs where Coolify will go and hook into, and you can run the servers on that, which is pretty cool. We can add one in here, but we won't for now. We'll just use the local host. We've got sources. So sources, I'm actually really not sure what this is actually used for. I think it's basically for adding in stuff if you're wanting to hook up Git, so you can set up CI/CD. Destinations, this is again deploy resources. S3, which is setting up any S3 compatible storages. If you want to set up Amazon S3 for adding in more volumes, or any potential storage that you wanted to throw on there, you can. Shared variables for deployments. Notifications. This is something I think is really cool about Coolify, is you can set up Telegram and Discord notifications, so you can get directly notified about what's going on. Set up keys and tokens for setting up APIs. Also looking at SSHing into any of the boxes you've got. You've got tags, which is similar to something like in Azure, which is sort of more my background, where you can set up tagging for resources to know what's being used by what, and you can run commands against those tags. Terminal, where we can basically connect into the different Docker containers that we have available to us. So what Coolify does in that process of going through and setting up all of those Docker containers is it sets up a bunch of Docker containers with different services running on them, and you can go and connect into those. You've got profile, which is just blah blah blah. You can add in two-factor. You can set up teams so that other people can manage your Coolify instance. Set up members, etc. Roles. then you've got your settings for basically modifying DNS, any cron jobs that need to be run against Coolify, backup jobs, any sort of emails that you wanted to set up. You can set up SMTP, as well as OAuth for connecting to your Coolify instance. We're just going to go to projects. We got a project created, but I'm just going to create a new project, and I'm going to call it Pocketbase. And this is just going to be our first Pocketbase project here. So we'll call it Coolify. And we'll jump in, add a resource. We're going to just add in a Pocketbase instance. Now, you've got a load of resources in here, and I'll let you guys go around and play with them, but there's a lot of templates out of the box with Coolify. But for now, we're just going to be waiting for... Okay, yeah, I think we're going to just deploy this. Let's take a look through here. So yeah, we've got our storage is set up, so it's already sets up volumes for us to actually be able to play around with. It already must have those mounted out of the box. So for those of you who don't know, when you're setting up Pocketbase in Docker, you have to have your volumes, your virtual volumes, attached onto that image. Otherwise, your data won't be persisted. It'll just run in memory rather than being stored back to the disk. So it's very cool that you get that out of the box. Scheduled tasks, you get your logs, webhooks. I assume that's just webhooks for your normal container. Resource operations. This is all stuff for setting up CI/CD, tags, danger zone. Cool. All right, let's hit deploy and let's see what happens here. All right. Okay, I think we're up and running. So you might get this warning triangle, which, like it says, doesn't mean that there's a malfunction. It just means that it's not checking, or it doesn't have a health agent set up on it. I'm not 100% sure that that's necessary, but if you wanted to do that, you can. Let's just leave that there for now. And let's take a look and see if we can access our instance. So we've got this under service stack, we've got this link here. So let's see if we can try and access this by clicking this. We'll copy this. And one thing that we're going to need to do here is it'll set it up automatically with 8080, which is what the port that Pocketbase is running on. We want to just delete that because it's already being forwarded. We don't need that 8080 in there. And then we can connect that and we'll see that we get this 404 message not found. This is how you know that you're actually on a Pocketbase instance, because this is a Pocketbase return code. So now what we want to do is just add in a underscore and then another /, and that's going to give us access to our first self-hosted Pocketbase instance. So now we can just log in as we would normally to Pocketbase. And that's working quite well. And then now we are going to create our first collection on self-hosted Pocketbase. Boom. And by the way, guys, if anyone wants to do this idea, which I'm just about to write, and then just link me, that would be great. I want to have this, and I'm too lazy to write this myself at the moment. but this would be very cool. So yeah, you can see that we've got these 404s. Maybe that's what's causing that warning. But anyways, we've got a working Pocketbase instance, guys, and it took us literally 5 minutes to get set up. We can go in and we can also connect to this Pocketbase instance and take a look and see if we can find the app here, the app folder. And we'll go and check out the hooks and see if we can make something happen here. And we're going to set up our hooks files here so that we can create custom behavior. We'll jump in and I'm going to add in some, I'll probably just go to the docs. I'm just using this proxy site here in order to get access to the docs because there's a problem on my network. And we're just going to copy this router here and we'll just plug this in. Oh, there's a problem here. We'll just copy that. And then I think we should be right here. Just save this. And I'll just struggle with Vim because I'm a noob. And then we'll just go, okay, cool. And then now we'll restart our instance because we have to restart for this hooks file to run. And we'll see our change come through. Restarting, cool. And we'll just go through this hook endpoint here. And we can see that's working. So yeah, guys, this is pretty powerful stuff. Being able to self-host Pocketbase means that you're going to be able to have all of the benefits of having this unlimited traffic, all of the benefits of all of the speed that you get by having your own self-hosted server without having to pay any sort of premiums for the convenience of self-hosting on something like a fly.io. So really check this out. This is probably the best way of hosting, and it's something that I am going to be continuing to play around with, and I'll keep you guys updated for all of my videos on where I go with this. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.